Morning folks, Phil Gallagher here with your next dose of Daily D&T. Happy to announce that Daily D&T has been funded for at least 2.5 more weeks as of the current time, so thank you all for that. If you're interested in supporting the continuation of this, I'll throw the donation link into the comments for future videos. Anyway, so for this round, I wanted to try something different. We're going to try playing without Wasteland today. Now, before you say, that's crazy talk, hear me out. There's so much Ren and 6 running around the format right now that Wastelanding feels bad. Like, you Wasteland your opponent, and a turn or two later, they just end up playing Ren and 6 and rebuying those lands, and you end up in a really negative position. So, just to see what it feels like, I'm going to try a couple different mana-based configurations and see if anything has some legs in the current metagame. So for the next 5 videos, so this week, we're going to try out some Ancient Tomb taxes. The idea is we'll play some Ancient Tombs and push our curve a little bit higher. This does 2 things. One, it allows us to dodge the -1 things that are floating around the format, like Plague Engineer and Ren and 6 pinging. And 2, it allows us to kind of fight on some angles that might be good against some of those decks. So for example, Thalia Heretic Cathar is very good against Ren and 6 because it slows down those fetch lands they're getting back really by 2 entire turns. And so I have Thalia Heretic Cathars to power out early and disrupt mana from a different angle than Wasteland. I have Palace Jailer to fight against the card advantage of Ren and 6, and I have Restoration Angel as sort of like my beater of choice over Brimaz, because it can protect some of our stuff from pinging, and also it's just got a bigger butt. Doing this configuration also will make me a little bit better against Dreadhorde Arcanist, because this can beat it in combat, as can this, and this happens to live through Lightning Bolt. So in order to make the sideboard work with this, we're going back up to the 3rd Chalice of the Void, because they're very, very good with the Ancient Tombs. And honestly, I could really even consider playing a 4th, and just really go all in on that idea. But that might be just a little bit too deep. Let's just battle in and see what happens. Experimental Lands, D&T, Legacy League. Let's do it. So I'm currently recording this while I'm in I'm at Latin Academy. So for me, today is July 8th. Although I think for you all, it'll probably be the 22nd, or maybe even a little bit later. Wait, or 15th. 15th. It'll probably be the 15th for you. Time gets a little wonkier. It gets hard to keep track of everything. But life's going well. Let's fight. I'll be keeping this hand, but I'm not stoked about it. Okay, so we're going to be playing against, Zombardment, I guess? Am I supposed to just, Swords to Plowshares this immediately? Probably not. Well, I guess if I don't, then they get to, why didn't they just, Cabal Therapy? Oh, no, they don't know what I'm playing. So if I go Land Mom, then they probably Cabal Therapy me and name my Swords to Plowshares. This is dies, right? So let's get that out of there. And then it's just unfortunate if they Cabal Therapy me and name Mom. But I don't think that would be their top name here. Then I can play double Mom into Jitte. Yeah, I don't care about that currently. It's a much better thing to Swords to Plowshares than the stupid Stitcher Supplier, but this thing can't block. Yeah. Aether Vial's a good name there. I like that from their side. So my position's fine currently. Carrion Feeder, that's okay. It's a little annoying with Great Crawler, but it is what it is. The fact that I have double Mother of Runes currently means that I don't care too much about this. Do I just want to try to get active Jitte, or do I want to play Thalia and muck with what they can be doing? I think I want to just play Thalia, continue to go up the board, and intend on Palace Jailering away Carrion Feeder. I don't know if they have red. If they have red for Goblin Bombardment, I'm scared of that. But given that they fetched Underground Sea and naturally drew another Underground Sea, alright! Alright. So I'm pretty light on Graveyard Hate in this version of the deck. So I'll get 2 Rips, 2 Path to Exiles, and I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about my opponent's exact deck list. So I know they have blue for Careful Study. I don't know a ton else. Alright, so let's... Sanctum Prelate on 1 could be pretty good. I don't know that I want to, like, go Chalice deep, because, like, Mom's also pretty good at gumming up the board if they get a giant Carrion Feeder. So maybe I'll bring in this. Could consider Council's Judgment Pithing Needles as well. I really want the Pithing Needle if they have Goblin Bombardment. Okay, let's figure out what I don't want. Restoration Angel seems pretty slow for this sort of matchup, so I'll probably junk those. You can see, like, trimming a Stoneforge in 1 piece of equipment. The Provokers are probably good. What would I be recruitering for? Maybe Recruiter's slow, similarly. And I just want to be playing out the cards that I draw somewhat aggressively. If I had Containment Priest, it's an entirely different question. Actually, Recruiter's less slow since I have Ancient Tombs. Let's try this, and I'll reevaluate after I have a little bit more information about their deck list. I don't believe I put a Walking Ballista into this deck list, which would be very good. If my opponent has Bridge from Below, to finish that thought. Scrubland. Bloodghast. I assume this is going to be immediately sack Cabal Therapy and name either Swords to Plowshares or Aether Vial. Yep. So there's the 2-for-1. It's a great turn on their end. So unfortunately, the way this turn probably goes is my opponent plays a land, gets back a Bloodghast, immediately Cabal Therapies me for Path to Exile, and then I get no value out of the cards in my hand, and I'm just left with the Sanctum Prelate. Or they can just have another. Yikes. Who needed cards that do things? Not Phil. Not Phil. What's the white for? Is it just like a sideboard card like Serenity? Alright. Living off the top of the deck. Rest in Peace would be a pretty baller draw. Stoneforge Mystic would be great. Thalia would be fine. Hey! So now Thalia beats out Bloodghast and Gravecrawler. And my opponent doing any funny business with Cabal Therapy or like cantrips or pseudo-cantrips gets slowed down. All this is fine. Convoke. Oh. Well. That's not bad. So I'd like a Palace Jailer. Or a Caracas. That would be fine as well. Is this Wisp just jumping in front of the bus for 8 life? No. No, it's not. Because if I draw a Restoration Angel, I can do cute things with it and save myself that amount of damage. I'm probably effectively dead if I don't hit something good this turn. So like the Carrion Feeder could be a 5/5 with the Bloodghasts and the Hogak in play. So I could chump here, block here, take 5 or maybe 7, go to 3, and then probably just die to my own Ancient Tombs. Yeah, let's back this one up. Does anything change now that I know about that new card? Hope. It's possible that my chalices are fine when I'm on the play, but like these cards are going to be so important to removing the recursive threats. But if my opponent goes all in on something big, I kind of want to have the other recruiter. Do I want this? For same reasons as Chalice is kind of questionable, maybe not. I would like to play first. Keep. This is a very, very good mana denial hand. And if my opponent has like a Cabal Therapy or Thoughtseize on turn 1, they're pretty likely to just name Swords to Plowshares and miss. Unsure whether I'll play Thalia or more other Thalia first with this hand. Also, I suppose later today there's like banned and restricted announcement changes. I expect no changes for Legacy. So, Thalia Guardian of Thraben will deny a mana if my opponent casts a non-creature spell. Thalia Heretic Cathar will deny a mana if my opponent plays a land. It will potentially also deny 2 mana if my opponent plays a fetch land. Because like it'll enter tapped and then they'll fetch, and the follow-up card is, you know, maybe 50% or greater likely to enter tapped as well. I think I'm just going to play Heretic Cathar. The other thing this allows me to do is draw a 2-drop and play Thalia plus 2-drop, or next turn play, I guess I can't Thalia import because of like Ancient Tomb. Like I can't split that mana over my turn and their turn. The other nice thing is that if my opponent goes all, yeah, that's very likely to miss, so that's fine. The unfortunate thing about this really is that like my opponent now knows that I have the Caracas, so they're not going to go all in on the Hogak Duder. Now if they have a land, you know, that's unfortunate. So this isn't the end of the world here. Like, I still have Thalia Heretic Cathar plus Port. That's still going to do some things. I got super punished by my opponent having the basic land. Alright, am I attacking or just holding back? I attack for 3, they can crash in for 4. I'm holding back. Oh, well, this is a disaster now. So like a Rest in Peace, Revoker, Recruiter, Palace Jailer, Stoneforge would be fine. I think I'm just gonna get run over. Yikes. So do I need to double port my opponent to prevent 2 other counters from going on to Carrion Feeder / 2 more zombies? I do. Yeah, this is disastrous. Going down. I also may have underestimated the number of swamps that my opponent was playing. When I've played this deck in the past, there were not many basics. But I guess I was on like a 4-ish color version. Am I willing to block this to get rid of the bridge from below? I don't think so. I mean, I think this needs to hold back the other stuff. I think I'm just stone cold dead now. Just to like attack with everything. I think there's no possible way I can win if I miss here. I don't even know that you name Rashad and port there. It's possible that you're supposed to just name something like one of the pieces of equipment that could possibly let me get back into the game. So I can play a Thalia and start playing the block bounce game and still be on the wrong side of the equation. I mean, we'll try. Well, let's just start always yielding to these things. Have fun, friend. In what world do I live? Should I just whack the concede button? Can I get back in this if I draw a Batter Skull? Maybe. But probably not. So like if I block this with my Thalia Heretic Cathar and let it go, and then block one of these, I take 8, go to 4, could cast Batter Skull, gain 4 life. Okay, we get to buy some time. Really glad my opponent didn't attack in with all the zombies. So now I just play 2 of these, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, dead. Womp, 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 womp. See you tomorrow, folks.